So go to the intensive relation. What does it mean? Look at this type or this clause type. SVOC is equivalent to a clause with an infinitive or that clause. An infinitive with two bare infinitive or that clause. How? I imagine her beautiful. SV direct object, and I have the object complement. This can be what? This can be paraphrased to two different types, with infinitive to and with that. I imagined her to be beautiful. I imagined that she was beautiful. Again, for example, I have the second one. We may extend the concept of intensive relation to the relation of subject to adverbial and object to adverbial aid. SVA and SVOA. For example, listen, look at this one. I have SVOO. Again, SVOO can be or can have that intensive relation. Can be transformed to SVOA. How? By the substitution of a prepositional phrase for the direct object with a change of order. Listen. She sent Jim a card. She sent Jim a card. SVOO. Okay? It can be what? SVOA. You see? هذه to Jim. It is what? An adjunct. Again, she left Jim a card. SVOO. Can be transformed to what? She SVOA. I have, look at these prepositions. I have 2 and 4. Are the prepositions chiefly involved, but others such as with and of are occasionally found. Look, I'll play a game of chess. I'll play a game of chess. I'll play a game of chess with or against you. She يعني هذه SVOO. It will be SVOA. She asked Jim a favor. Again SVOO. It will be SVOA. What else? Here I have get one of the verbs that have multiple class memberships. Multiple class memberships in which I have more than, the same verb can have more than one clause type. Here with SVA, SVC, SVO, SVOC, SVOA, SVOO. But look at this one. There will be some sort of ambiguity here when I found her an entertaining partner. I found her an entertaining partner. Listen, it can be SVOC, SVOC, or can have SVOO. نفس الحالة هنا عندي. She called him a steward. She called him a steward. Again, can be SVOO or SVOC. Here I have the syntactically, in which I have the subject, the object, what are direct or indirect. I have the indirect. It can be a complement, subject or object complement, and something like that. Yes. So, all in all, again we have the adverbial, can be an adverbial phrase, phrasal, adverbial clause, noun phrase, or prepositional phrase. It is mobile in the sense that carrying more than one position in the clause, at the beginning, at the middle, at the end. Generally optional. So the general characteristic for the adverbs that they are optional. It means they can be added or removed from a sentence without affecting its acceptability. لكن obligatory adverbial of SVA, SVO patterns, in which I will have a grammatical sentence if I do not have that obligatory adverb. So up to this point we have discussed the syntactic realizations of the sentence element, like subject, verb, object, direct, indirect, subject complement, object complement, and the adverbial. This is the turn to know how these clause elements semantically considered. I have more than one type. I have the agnative, affected, recipient, attribute. Look at this one. Look at these: agnative, affected, recipient, attribute. هذول كلهم the general semantic roles for the main elements. يعني من أسماء agnative يجيب بالي subject, affected direct object, recipient the indirect, attribute subject complement or object complement. This is the most typical semantic role of this. يعني okay, but later on we have more than one exception. Listen. So I have John opened the letter. Here I have the typical semantic role of a subject is what? Agnative. What? Causing the happening denoted by the verb. When we say who opened the door, John opened the door. So John is the agnative. Here syntactically subject, semantically agnative. He was the doer of the action. One of the most typical, you see typical in the general form or the general characteristic. The most typical function of the direct object is that of affected with a, affected, اللي احنا نسميه هذا واقع عليه فعل الفاعل. Listen, many MPs criticize the Prime Minister. You see, this is with italics, means the Prime Minister. Syntactically, direct object, semantically, it is the affected by the criticism of the MPs. The most typical function of the indirect object اللي هو recipient. I found you a place. I found you a place. You is what? Is the indirect object. Is the indirect object. Syntactically indirect object, semantically recipients. Again, with the role, the typical role of the subject complement and the object complement اللي هو attributes. Attribute of the subject complements, whether a current or existing. شو وقت current with the state verb. He is a clever. He is a teacher. هذا when it is what? With the state of verb. Or resulting. ويا dynamic verbs. يعني if the verb is stative, the subject complement يسموها semantic role called current attribute. If the verb is dynamic, I will have resulting attribute. How does this mean? He is my brother. He is my brother. انتبهوا لي is فعل. It is what? Stative verb. So SVC. My brother is what? Is the syntactically subject complement, semantically current attribute. شلون عرفتوا current attribute? Because it is with what? It occurred with stative verb. كل أفعال الكينونة البي verbs with stative verb. Seems unhappy. Seems that is stative. Again, so it is what? A current or existent attribute. In contrast to what? He became restaurant. There is some sort of change in conditions, change of action, change of events. Say what? So it is dynamic. SVC. هذه C subject complement لكن هي resulting attribute. Why resulting? Because it comes with this dynamic verb. Again, turned it will be dynamic, so it is what? Resulting, not current. The object complement, again, current or attribute. I ate the meat cold. here called is that syntactically object complement, semantically current attribute. Present syntactically object complement, semantically resulting. Why resulting? Because it occurs with a dynamic verb. Look at this notes. Look at this notes. I found a place for the magnolia tree, and I found a place for Mrs. Jones. Appear to be grammatically equivalent. Only the second can be transformed into clause. يعني احنا تعودنا من نقول يعني here I have what S V O O S V O O or O A, sorry. Here can I transform this one to هسه هتقولي S V O A S V O A. اقدر احولها ل S V O O نفس الحالة ويا هنا حالة للتأسي. يقول لي grammatically equivalent but the second can be transformed into the clause within direct object. يعني يقول لي this one cannot be with the indirect object. What does this mean? I found Mrs. Jones a place, but it is not to say I found the magnolia tree a place. Why? Simply saying because both magnolia or place, both of them are what? Both of them are inanimate. I cannot adopt a recipient role. In contrast to this one in which Mrs. Jones is what? Animate and can have recipient role. But I will have an exception when I say in which I have the two objects, the direct and the indirect, to be what? To be inanimate. Like, I've given the bathroom a thorough cleaning. I've given the bathroom a thorough cleaning. لما أجي أقول S V O O. So both the bathroom, a thorough cleaning, both of them are what? Inanimate.